Well, so much for that LeBron thing. Kind of
Man,
taking over the airwaves.
man.
That kind of came and went, huh? I was expecting a little bit more from that. Whenever you
I
hear that
mean,
MVP chant, you already know what's the deal. It's the most valuable podcast in the world. It's the Hitmen podcast, live and full effect. Chris in here, my partner in here, MG. What's the deal, big dog? How you feeling, bro?
what's the word, Brody? Yeah. Hey, man.
Inside jokes all the way around.
Look, man. I'm just saying, man. If my pops was, breaking records, I'd probably be wearing his shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, you seen
Wow.
them? They both had on mics, right?
Wow,
Of
bro.
course,
Yeah,
that's kind
man.
of weird, but all right. Shout out to him though. Shout out to the king though. All-time leading scorer, big Bron Senior. Congrats to LeBron. We're gonna break it down. There's a lot to talk about. People was basically stepping on his line the whole time, right? On 2/3/23, that's supposed to be like Jordan Day, right? The Kyrie trade happened. Then the notion of the game, LeBron breaking the record. The stories about everybody else. Like it was a trade that happened in the midst of the Lakers. They got AD sitting on the bench chilling, like not even really worried about the moment at all. You know what I'm saying? That's really been the commentary. It's been everything but the fact that he broke the record. Then obviously the same old debate coming up, like him or Mike, him or Wilt, him or Kareem. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's hard for Bron to just stand alone on his own. But in another way of putting it, it's like he kind of made his bed with it. You feel me? And they lost the game after all that.
Man, that dude scored the bucket and then checked out with a fake injury. Look, man.
Told him I love you.
Look, man. You say that now to LeBron trading.
You heard?
Straight up.
Before we get off into the show, we want to let y'all know that we everywhere that podcasts live, man. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Shout out to the sponsor, Anchor. All of that. Hit us up in the mailbag, the Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. Don't forget about the socials, at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, at Virtuoso Sports on Twitter. Shout out to my homegirl, Joy. She basically told me I was living poor last week.
Ooh,
It was kind of a crazy indictment. So I'm gonna ask you, am I bogus because in a loaf of bread I eat the top part and the bottom part of the bread? You know what I'm talking about? Like the butt pieces of bread.
I eat them too.
Man, am I wild? Am I tripping?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? What's the matter? It's bread. So I had to explain it to her. I'm like, bro, do you eat croissants? She's like, yeah, I eat croissants. I love croissants. I'm like, so do you cut the tip paws off of each part of the croissant, or do you just eat it? I'm confused. It's like, no, I eat it. I said, you do know that's bread too, right? She's like, so let me ask you this: if you was finna make a sandwich, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something, would you use the top and the bottom piece of the bread? I'm like, probably not, because I'm not gonna get to the bottom piece of the bread. I was being an asshole. I'm like, probably not, because I can't get to the bottom piece of the bread to the end of the bread. But if it's the choice between eating and not eating, being hungry and not being hungry, what's the difference?
Oh yeah, bro. If you're just making sandwiches, go ahead and use that shit.
I mean, when would you not use? It's bread.
I ain't using it for toast though. If I'm trying to make toast, it's a wrap, bro.
Why though? Why?
Them pieces do not hold up during the jelly process.
It's bread. Y'all is crazy, bro.
No. It's fine for sandwiches, but once you got them things out the toaster and it's time to start putting the butter on them and the jelly on them pieces don't hold up, bro. They break apart on you.
Y'all is crazy.
But I use it for anything else but toast. That's
food.
it.
It's food. So you saying when you get to the bottom, the last little swig of orange juice, you don't drink that?
I do.
It's exactly what.
I just ain't using them for toast. That's it. I'll use it for everything else, sandwiches, anything else but toast.
Y'all weird. Why y'all so weird with y'all food? So
Bruh.
when you grew up, was you the type to you ain't want your food to touch?
Nah, I don't care if my food touch.
Okay, I'm about to say I was about to put you over there with them, bro. Go sit down.
Bro, no, it's a legit reason why I wouldn't use it for toast though, bro.
Okay, explain it to me. Let me.
Like I said, bro,
let me give you some movie music. Come on.
Once you get them pieces out the toaster and you trying to put that butter and that jelly on it, them pieces don't hold together, bro. Next thing you know, you got half a piece of bread left.
What kind of toast you got, bro?
bro. It's because they thin. It's because they're thin. It's thinner than the other slices that's in the middle of the of the loaf. So like they don't hold up like that. But I tell you, it is fire if you're trying to make some grilled cheese sandwiches, though. I tell you that.
The butt preview.
Them end pieces is fire for grilled cheese.
Word, for sure. We've been on food at the beginning of these shows for about a month straight.
I was catching some slack for egg rolls the other week.
Oh yeah, you was wilding out. You my mans. I wasn't gonna just leave you out there without no life wrap, but I ain't know what the hell you talking about. Like,
nah, y'all tripping off some egg rolls, bro. If y'all ain't on no egg roll, bro, come on, man.
All right,
it's all good.
Here we go. Check it out. Obviously, the story of the week. It's crazy that the NBA is getting way more coverage than the NFL, and it's Super Bowl week. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we gonna start, bro. We'll get to the NFL in a second, but in case you was living under a rock, Tuesday night, LeBron James scored he became the all-time leading scorer in the NBA's history. Passing up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, sitting there all alone. And he's obviously going to extend the record further and further and further throughout the rest of the season and however long he has left. But it was a star-studded event at the Crypt at Staples, whatever you calling it nowadays. Kyrie's actually making his Mavericks debut against the Clippers in the same building the next night as we're recording. But the significance of the scoring title is it comes to LeBron. I don't know if you caught it, but Jalen Rose called out Anthony Davis today, said it looked like it was jealousy, it was lazy, it was, you know what I'm saying, like you're not a prisoner of the moment. Did you watch the game last night, bro? What'd you think of it?
I get why Anthony Davis was like that, because it's like, dude, we losing, like we
fair
about
enough,
to lose
fair
this
argument,
game,
like sure. Right.
Like I get the moment and everything, but at the end of the day, isn't like winning supposed to be the ultimate goal?
Word, I get you,
and especially when like most of these records, like scoring records that LeBron has passed in recent, like pretty much all of the scoring records, like when you pass Karl Malone, they lost. When you pass Kareem, they lost. When you pass MJ, they lost. Like at a certain point, it's like, all right, bro, when is the team and the wins more important than the individual accolades?
Word. The other part, and I know I'm trying my best to not sound messy. I'm just trying to do the best reporting I can. They said at halftime, which is going to lead into the trade that we're getting ready to talk about, said Darvin Ham and Russell Westbrook got into a shout match. It could be heard outside the locker room. And it basically was about the fact that they losing. You know what I'm saying? And Russ got subbed out early.
He got subbed out for LeBron.
Yeah, he got subbed out for LeBron, and he kind of took offense to it, if you will. Came back in the game. I think he had 27 points to finish out the game, but it just seemed like none of his teammates was really excited about trying to celebrate him in that moment, more so than like not making it bigger than winning the game. And they lost to the Thunder of all teams. You know
and I think that's another thing
at the
too
crib.
For us. I think that's another thing for us too. It's against the Thunder. That's his team.
Word.
You know what I mean? So like he probably was already feeling the way headed into it.
So what's your take on it though? Like say what you want, feel how you want about it. It's an all-time record. It took 40 years for them to break it, right? It seemed kind of hollow. In my opinion, it seemed kind of hollow. Like this accomplishment feel like this is now he's a Laker. In my opinion, I don't think like the bubble championship, passing Mike, passing Kobe was one of those things because again, like you said, they was in losing efforts. They've been missing playoffs, this and that. This officially locks him in as a Laker. I don't know if he get a statue there, his jersey retired there, unless it's like a humanitarian lifetime achievement joint. But
he still got some more championships to win before that happened.
I think them days is over with, to be honest.
He don't deserve no statue in LA then. Like dude been in LA for like 5 years. Like
and keep in mind, we're not hating. I'm
no, it's not hating. It's just that
I ain't even do the round of
applause. Most of his time in LA has been spent losing outside of the championship.
I want to give bro a round of applause.
But yeah, it's a
big one. Can't say nothing else about it, but at the same time, like I just feel like most people don't like the road that he took to get on it, to get to that point. You feel me?
And some of that stuff wasn't his fault, to his credit. Like the rule changes and some of that stuff that wasn't his fault. He played in the era that he played in the era that he played in. But the rule changes weren't necessarily his fault. Right. So
no 3-pointer when Kareem was doing it. More games, obviously. You went from a 5-game first round to a 7-round series all throughout the playoffs. you know, say what you, like give testament to Bron for the durability. He's never really been hurt except for that season where he had the injured groin. Like durability is important in regards to the argument. It took a longer. I'm sorry. It took less time for him to do it than Kareem did. I seen people going in this morning about this solidifying him being better than Mike. We gotta relax with that.
I'm sorry. Point totals.
That's dead. That's dead.
Point totals
That's dead.
and like assist totals don't meet like. Look, nah.
Salute to LeBron though for breaking the record, and he's gonna extend it. It may not be done for another 40, 45 years if possible. It took 40 years to break it at this point. They keep talking about Luka could do this. Melo might have had a chance. Like, bro, LeBron is 1-1. Ain't no more hating that can be done. Like, Skip Bayless, all of them need to relax. Like, give that man his credit. Let him have his shine. But beyond that, the ramifications from last night into today, we're going to get to Kyrie in a minute, but the big story out of today was the trade that just happened. I know you got the full breakdown, but the big piece is D'Angelo Russell going back to the Lakers from Minnesota and Russell Westbrook going to the Utah Jazz, bro, a place I would never thought he would have been at, given all the history that he's had with the fans there and the quote-unquote racist, like, episodes he's had out there in playoff series. Like, if you got it in front of you, like, tell the people what we talking about in regards to the big dog trade.
So I mean, the main pieces are D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and Malik Beasley headed to the Lakers. You got Russ, and I believe it was was it one or two first round?
One of the big two first, yeah.
Yeah, first round pick, but it's like top 4 protected.
2027.
Yeah, going to the Jazz, and then Conley going to the Timberwolves, and I believe it was a second round pick going to Timberwolves as well.
Right.
You know, I mean, as soon as the word came out, I mean, the first word of news was that the Jazz are like probably buying Russ out, so I don't expect Russ to ever.
So he's not staying. He's not gonna be there.
Yeah, I highly doubt he suits up in a uniform. Like I said, I texted you earlier. I said, "Bruh, that buyout probably about to be finalized before he get off that plane."
Get off the plane.
Yeah, because I think it's only like $16 million left on this deal for this year, and obviously the situations that have happened before. Like, I doubt he ever suits up for the Jazz.
I hope not, because I remember them playoff series. That was crazy, bro. When he was getting fans kicked out and going back and forth. He told dude he would fuck up dude and his wife. Wasn't that in Utah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I couldn't imagine them like receiving him well, even though
it was either Utah or Philly.
Huh?
It was either Utah or Philly where it happened. I can't remember.
I couldn't imagine him staying in Utah, although D-Wade, Danny Ainge are there. I can't imagine him staying in no time soon. So if he gets bought out, he damn near has to go to a contender, right? There's no way he goes to like another team that's just not worth his time.
I think it opens up his options now because of the buyout situation. He's, most of his money is already paid, so he can sign somewhere for a minimum for this, for the vet minimum this year or whatever, and so his options are opened up because, a lot of teams ain't want to pay him at that, ain't want to take him on at that price point.
Got to be Miami, though. Kyle Lowry upset. They haven't been playing him. He hasn't been playing well.
Going to Miami's a dead end.
I don't think so, bro.
I just seen that report earlier that Pat Riley basically is giving up on this current roster.
Every time they try to go Bam out too, so everybody else for sale.
Every time, no, not in that sense, but in the sense of like every time they go after somebody, they never land them, or you know what I mean, or when they do finally get somebody else, it doesn't work out like that. But I think the way this roster is constructed, Westbrook going there wouldn't fix nothing for them.
I disagree, bro.
Their problem is they need a legitimate number one scorer.
They needed Kyrie, and he ended up going to the Mavericks.
Yeah, and
after
that
whole bullshit soap opera in Brooklyn. So, but my thing is with the Lakers, like, bro, y'all basically traded your 2027 number one pick, your coveted first round pick, to redraft D'Angelo Russell, who y'all already had a while ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He spent some time in Brooklyn, went out to Minnesota, made himself went out to Golden State, then to Minnesota, made himself a little bit more money just for him to come back to L.A. Y'all went through all of that, and not to mention everything that they traded to get Russ in the first place.
Boy, look, Lakers fans,
Kuzma's balling out in D.C. now.
Well, I mean, it's no surprise that a lot of guys who left LeBron are balling out, but that's a different conversation. Um, but it's again, Lakers fans, y'all thought Russ was bad on defense. Wait till you see D'Lo.
D'Angelo Russell, right?
Boy, he be getting cooked
The best
nightly.
the best move they done made so far is obviously Rui Hachimura, right? He went 2 games before he was in the starting lineup.
And he not a needle mover for me.
No,
He's always hurt. I mean, he poor man's Kuzma basically.
yeah. That's the word around the campfire. What you think about Beasley and Vanderbilt being pieces for them? I like Vanderbilt for them.
I like Vanderbilt.
I wish they would stop trying. I wish they would stop hiding AD. He doesn't rebound for shit. That's the thing. I'm done with, bro. While we on the subject, everybody talking about the body language. Him on the sideline. He looking like he pouting. He mad. Whatever. I'm done with bro. He don't rebound. He barely plays defense, if at all. Like everybody kept wanting him to be the next Tim Duncan. So them going and getting Vanderbilt as insurance to play center, like it's hiding him. Y'all keep hiding him from wanting to play the 5 because y'all know he gonna get killed by Jokic. He gonna get killed by Embiid. He damn near getting killed by Nurkic for real when he plays. Like we done. I'm done with him. Zubac out rebounds him. Like Steven Adams gonna body him up. Valanciunas is out rebounding him game in and game out. I'm done with AD, bro. And he's always hurt. While we talking about
always hurt, and he settles for too many jumpers, and he's not a good jump shooter. I don't know where this notion that he's a great jump shooter comes from. Like if you look at his shooting numbers since he's been a Laker, like outside of the paint, he is not a good shooter. Right. Mid range 3-point, he's not. So, the pieces they got don't fix their problems. Honestly, defensively, they're still a bad defensive team. Like that's not that adding Vanderbilt is cool, but that don't fix LeBron not playing defense or the other positions that they got out there not being good defensively.
Ticket sales.
They don't fix that.
Ticket sales at crypto for the game, for the top scoring LeBron game was upwards of $92,000 for 4 seats, and they had just about everybody. Denzel Washington was there, Hove was there, obviously his family was there, but moving forward, as far as the Lakers are concerned, are they done making moves with the Rush trade today?
They might try to flip Beverly because he's an expiring contract, but they don't really have much else to do unless they can expand that D'Lo trade into adding the 4th team. But I doubt it because it's already 3 involved. So they probably done.
Okay, if they done, what does these moves do for their playoff implications? Because I don't think that does anything. With Devin Booker coming back for the Suns.
Well, I ain't putting no eggs in the Suns' basket.
I'm not either, but I'm just saying in regards to who's coming out of that division. The Clippers are finally healthy. The Warriors are going to get healthy. You know they're going to do their thing after the All-Star break once Steph come back for real. But they holding it down. Clay just had a crazy performance the other day.
You still got the Kings.
You still got the Kings who's streaking. They were number 3 last time I checked. Lakers ain't coming out of that, man. When you got a stacked West, when you got Dallas, when you got New Orleans right now creeping up, Memphis still doing their thing. Like it's not looking good for y'all, bro.
At best, at best they'll make the lucky. Play in, but I don't see anything past that. And they not getting lucky in the first round. Like there's a reason they're a play-in team. Like
if they draw Denver, it's a wrap.
They not beating none of the top 4 seeds. Honestly.
Speaking of
well, maybe Sacktown because they're overachieving this year, so. Yeah. Maybe the Kings, but they definitely ain't beating Memphis. They definitely ain't beating Denver. They definitely don't want to see the Pelicans.
Speaking of the playoffs, Kyrie obviously traded to the Mavs. Him and Markieff Morris in Dallas tonight or in LA tonight for the Mavericks. Luka not playing, looking like he and Kyrie gonna play on Friday. But in the Nets trade, the Nets get Spencer Dinwiddie on his second stint with the team. Dorian Finney-Smith, a 2029 first-round pick, and then 2027 and 2029 second-round picks. Kyrie, hellified talent, but we talking about a point guard who missed 142 out of 299 possible games with the Nets. He only played a total of 13 games, maybe with James Harden and Kevin Durant when they were all on the same team. String of issues with the whole Amazon situation with the book. His interview on I Am Athlete, talking about how if he had his mind made up, he would be in LA with LeBron. LeBron came out after they didn't make the trade, saying like maybe it's me or saying he obviously felt bad that they didn't make the trade for Kyrie. Who's the obvious piece that is necessary to trade for Kyrie? Russell Westbrook. So that created tension between them. You feel me? You saw it kind of on the court when LeBron was going for the record. Like you said, he got subbed out for LeBron. It's like, I'm not
the Nets ain't want nothing to do with.
Yeah,
the
bro.
Nets ain't want nothing to do with Russ.
Nah, hell no. They wasn't trying to have no parts of Westbrook. I said like maybe Miami would have been a suitor for Kyrie, maybe Dame for Kyrie straight up, but Portland was probably not gonna be a part of that. It was rumblings here in Chicago they was looking for a guard, seeing they could get Caruso situated with some stuff in order to get Kyrie to Chicago. But ultimately, we talked about this months ago. I said Dallas was gonna be the spot for them. It's the one thing that Luka needed, somebody that can kind of take the scoring load off of him, where it's not he's just dribbling the ball 20 out of 24 seconds and then hoping somebody makes a decision. It's the LeBron Cleveland Cavaliers all over again, but now they get Kyrie in the mix. They're not going to play no defense. We know that, but they're going to
look, that might be the worst defensive backcourt in the league, bro. I ain't even going to hold
They're not even interested in that. But Jason Kidd, you know what I'm saying, going to get them to buy in. I feel like I don't know what that means in terms of laying them out for a playoff picture, but I definitely like the fact that Luka has some legitimate help now. You know what I'm saying? But I was talking about last week, like, is Kyrie going to get another shoe contract? After the way he left Brooklyn, and I was trying to see when the next time they play in the Nets. They don't play the Nets for the rest of the season, so the only time they would see them is if they potentially met in the finals. But this trade had hella foul implications too. Like, how do KD feel about it? Is he going to ask for a trade? You said you was going to get into that on the show anyway. That was one of your concerns. But
yeah,
this all stemmed from apparently he was insulted by the contract that they laid out for him. It was too like incentivized in terms of like them making the finals or this and that going on. Jay Will and Stephen A got into it on First Take. I know you saw that.
Boy, look.
Stephen A basically said Kyrie Jay Will was caping, shooting Kyrie some bail. Basically was his cheerleader. And it got real crazy. But the whole saga is like it flamed out. It looked like one of the worst disappointments in NBA history, especially in the super team era. Like, y'all had everything y'all wanted. Y'all got y'all coach fired. Harden left, Kyrie left, and KD back where he started. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I mean, he stuck with Ben Simmons.
Cam Thomas going bananas though, ain't he?
Man, look, I still don't understand why that man wasn't getting PT.
Word. LSU
he pretty much called Steve Nash out for what was that, last year or 2 years ago, where he called Nash out for not playing him.
He said he a Kobe guy too.
Yeah.
When they asked him about LeBron breaking the record, he said he a Kobe guy as well.
So yeah, I mean, I think too much is made out of the issues with Kyrie in terms of like some of the stuff that has been said and all of that. I think some of that has been overblown.
That's fair.
By a lot. But I also think on the flip side, people don't bring up the fact that he has been injured a lot since he's left Cleveland.
Word.
I mean, he was injured in Cleveland, right? He threatened to have season-ending surgery, right? And then he got to Boston. He did the same thing in Boston. And then, you know, the bubble year with the Nets where he didn't want to play in the bubble. And he got hurt in that playoff series against Milwaukee. Like, he's been hurt a lot too. So, I mean, him missing games isn't, like, people overblow him missing games for, like, the other stuff outside of the vaccination stuff. Like, when he just went AWOL for them couple of days. He didn't miss that many games, right?
Yeah,
like, it wasn't like he missed a month worth of games because of that. You know what I mean? I think he missed like 2 games or something. Like, that's a small portion, but he's missed a lot of games due to injury.
True.
And so we talk about it in football and other sports too. Like, you don't pay somebody full-time money if they not there full-time, regardless of the circumstances, off the court, injury, whatever. You don't pay somebody full-time money if they ain't gonna be there full-time.
Word. Right now he's sitting on 20 points and 5 assists. They're up 96-89 in the fourth with less than 5 minutes in the game. So
word is Dallas ain't done either. Word is they trying to take a peek at Ayton.
That's overkill, I think, but how you feel about
for what they would have to give up? It really, I mean, from what I've seen, it probably would be like Tim Hardaway and Christian Wood.
They got to take Jay Crowder. They would have to.
I don't think Dallas would necessarily have a problem with that. if that's what it had to be, because they ain't getting really nothing out of Christian Wood since like the first month or two of the season.
Agree. But they got to they got to get Jay Crowder playing. How you feel about the rumor that they was gonna offer Chris Paul up for Kyrie straight up?
I get it. I mean, Chris Paul is just last year. I mean, he took a big step backwards last year, and then this year, you barely even notice he's on the court most nights. And there's a lot of nights where he ain't even closing games. Cameron Payne is.
True.
So the Chris Paul thing, like, they paid him for them having the early success they did when he got there, but obviously that contract is not worth what you're getting out of him. Too many nights you look up and 8 points, 9 points. It's not worth it at this point. So I think they're trying to get off of him so they can free up some cap space.
Let's talk about the All-Star reserves that got named last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
And the snubs that came with it. So for the West Side, Paul George of the Clippers, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jaren Jackson, surprising to me, from the Memphis Grizzlies, Dame Lillard, Larry Markkinen, Ja Morant, and Domantas Sabonis. On the Eastern Conference, Bam Adebayo, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Ty Halliburton, Drew Holiday, surprise, and Julius Randle making out the All-Star reserve. They're going to do the live draft. I feel like somebody was tapping my phone because I've been saying that they should do that the day before the game. Print up two jerseys, right, or just make them reversible jerseys, whatever, so that you build a little bit more suspense and you do the draft live as opposed to doing it beforehand. But yeah, Team Giannis against Team LeBron in Salt Lake City. What you make of the All-Star reserves, man?
Well, first and foremost, Embiid shouldn't be a reserve.
Nah, definitely should be a starter.
That's ridiculous. At the time of the voting, the dude was leading the league in scoring, and the Sixers had the third best record in the league. That is criminal.
Crazy.
that is criminal that he is not starting.
Crazy, dog. No Jalen Brunson.
No Brunson. I'm happy for De'Aaron Fox. I mean, no De'Aaron Fox, actually.
No De'Aaron Fox.
But Shai, happy for Shai.
Word.
Happy for Ty Halliburton, obviously.
No Jimmy Butler. Bam made it over Jimmy Butler from the Heat.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I probably wouldn't have took nobody from Miami.
Damn.
They ain't did nothing. They don't do nothing but miss games and disappoint. I'm off of the Heat bandwagon, bro. Like, I'm done with it. It's only so many times I can watch Bam Adebayo not want to score the ball.
The other thing, no Trae Young, right? Surprise?
I'm surprised he didn't get voted in, but I don't think he deserved to be an All-Star. Sure. I would have taken Darius Garland over him.
I would have took Garland too. I definitely would have took Garland too. No Anthony.
Drew Holiday was surprising.
No Anthony Edwards. Drew Holiday got in.
Anthony Edwards' problem was his push came really late in the voting process. When he started really balling out, like it came really late in the voting process.
It's just crazy because DeMar gets in, and they're the 9th seed. Miami gets none. They're the 6th seed. Atlanta's the 8th seed over Chicago. Still didn't get one. Ty Halliburton is leading the 12th place Pacers. Nothing from Washington. No Bradley Beal. I was expecting even them to be a player at the trade deadline. We still got till Thursday at 3, obviously, but I was thinking that Philly might make a play for him. Brooklyn might make a play for him. It was rumored that the Lakers wanted Bradley Beal for the longest of time, maybe 2 years at this point. Nobody said nothing about him at all.
Yeah, well, apparently the Wizards think they're legitimately going to build a big three with Kuzma, Beal, and Porzingis. And so,
hell no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hell no. Fuck no.
Yeah, bro. That is funny that they think that. Siakam didn't make it either, right?
Yeah, but Toronto. I just think don't nobody want what they got. It was rumblings that Van Vliet was gonna be in the mix for the trade deadline with a Russell Westbrook potentially going to Toronto for Van Vliet and a few pieces from Toronto. They look like they're gonna try to rebuild their team around Scotty Barnes. Keep it locked for the trade deadline. I want to talk to you about these fake fights though.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
So boom, which one do you think was worse? The Donovan Mitchell ball game with Dylan Brooks, or Mo Mo Bamba, Austin Rivers, Minnesota, Orlando. Mo Bamba got suspended 4 games. I think Austin was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But this happened back-to-back nights, I think.
Yeah, either back to back or like one night in between.
Yeah. What's the best? I mean, they both wasn't really much about nothing. I feel like.
No, I mean, I honestly, I'm glad Donovan was dragging Dylan like that because Dylan Brooks has quickly become my least favorite player, not named LeBron.
Then Shannon Sharp called out Ja Morant about his homie getting banned at the altercation when the Grizzlies played the Pacers.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Shannon got to chill though.
You think so? He getting a little too chatty.
It's becoming a little bit dick riding, like the Shannon Sharp shit. It really is. Like
you seen him last night? He was.
Yeah, like it's getting to that point with him. Like you don't play for him. You're not family with him. Like LeBron wasn't even sending this man shoes until a couple years ago. Like LeBron didn't even care about Shannon until a couple years ago. Like so it's becoming a little bit overkill with Shannon. Like he surpassed Nick Wright. Like that's a tall building to climb to surpass Nick Wright when it came to the LeBron stuff.
What's the best fight that you've ever seen NBA wise? Because for me, I'm thinking Chris Childs, Kobe, Anthony Peeler, KG,
Kobe versus any Miller in the league at that point.
Andre Miller.
He fought Andre Miller. He fought Mike Miller, Reggie Miller.
Was Shaq
fought Brad Miller. That Reggie Kobe one was pretty funny.
Yeah, Reggie Mike was straight.
Yeah, I'm kind of biased towards Anthony Peeler, Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, I know you.
I'm kind of biased, but
Rondo, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Nothing gonna top the Malice though, obviously.
Nah, I mean, can we count Eddie House Skip the Malu?
That came and went though. That was quick.
I mean, the headband, bro. Come on, he smacked the head. The NBA logo went from the front to the back on the headband. Like he smacked the dog out of him.
I'm going with Chris Childs and Kobe though.
Chris Childs and Kobe is probably like the most like notable, memorable one.
Obviously,
because you just remember Kobe eating that 2-piece.
Yeah.
That's got to be up there. I mean, I wish they would have let. I wish go at it with Bron.
Was it Kurt Rambis that was in that fight that one time? I don't know. I've been watching. Yep. I was watching some vintage shit.
Oh, you know which one we can't forget, bro? The Knicks, bro. Carmelo with the sucker punch, bro.
Oh yeah. When he was in Denver, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Yeah, you know that Kobe Chris Childs one probably is like because most of these fights don't end with punches thrown, but that one at least we got punches thrown.
For sure. I think that's the one that I'm gonna go with. I'm going with Chris Childs and Kobe. Rest in peace to my dog. Speaking of fights, man, this kind of emerged between the BAMs and the quick hits. So Tank Davis, bro, fucking the money up. You heard about this shit now?
Yeah.
So apparently he put a rematch clause in the contract for him and Danny Garcia in order for the fight talks to progress. He said if Danny Garcia win, Tank get an immediate rematch, no questions asked. But if Tank win, Garcia gets no rematch at all.
I mean,
that's wild. What is wrong with you, bro?
But is Danny Garcia really worth the rematch though? Like.
I think this come off like he's scared he gonna lose, or it's an insurance policy.
Well, definitely an insurance policy. But at a certain point, people got to give up on the Garcias one in this boxing world, man. Danny, Ryan, like, look, man, none
any of them, right?
Like, bro, I'm over the whole Garcia waves in boxing. Like Danny good, but he probably ain't been the same in like what 6-7 years, like 5-6 years maybe.
So you think it don't matter at this point? It's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tank gonna work him, bro.
Damn.
I think Tank gonna work him.
Well, man. Oh yeah, the Vegas Aces. WNBA champs. They under investigation now because of the salary cap. It started last year with they said Mark Davis pretty much like his tax money came early. You feel me?
Yeah.
He picking up everybody, buying everybody out, getting their contract situated. Ain't nobody complaining about nothing. So, it's getting spooky in the WNBA, and we ain't nowhere near the season. Seasons don't start until May. You feel me? And they already got them under investigation. Vegas, the connotation is Vegas corrupt as it is. They damn near took forever to put sports teams out there, and now the first team to bring a championship to the city, they under investigation. That's crazy.
I told you they better be careful. I told you.
They ain't even doing nothing.
Hey, man. Hey, New York ain't far behind.
Bro, we can't make our team better. What's the problem?
Look, man. It ain't making the league better.
I feel
you got 5 number 1 pick. What is it? 4 or 5 number 1 picks in that line in that starting lineup now.
All-time greats too, bro.
Bruh, like, come on, dog. 5 number 1 pick, bro. That's insane.
And they can't get these charter flights together. I was saying, I seen on Twitter, people like most of the WNBA teams are in metro cities that have like metro sports teams or a NBA companion. Why can't they just use their plane? When WNBA is in season, the NBA is not in season.
Because of the expenses.
Exactly, but the plane is not being used. If it's just sitting there, if it's not being used for the players in season, you feel me?
Yeah, but maintenance is cheaper than maintenance and fuel. Like I really want them to have better travel and better, just accommodations, but at the same time, it's like.
Man, the plane, bro.
The league is in the red, bro, and they've never turned a profit.
Go on, get them the plane, man.
Nah, bro,
go on, give them the plane. It's peanuts. Y'all didn't even know it was there at the end of the day.
Nah, bro. How much revenue did the league do? Like 20 million, like profit as a league or something like that.
It's a startup. All right, cool.
It's been a startup for like 30 years. Like at a certain point, they gotta. Some stuff just ain't gonna change until the profits start coming in. Like, that's just what it is. That's just the reality of it. Like, you go to work, and if your company ain't turning profits, I doubt your job is gonna be handing out free lunch. You know what I mean? Like,
I get you.
So they have to figure out a way to turn profit, and once they do that, everything will change for the better. But until then, it's just money going down the drain, essentially. Regardless of how good the actual product is, you got to make money.
Let's switch gears because I actually jumped ahead of myself. Let's talk NFL real quick. What is important? Tom Brady retired for the second time. Big deal. Broncos acquired Sean Payton as the head coach, and then he instantly threw shots at Russell Wilson. Big deal.
Take that man QB coach out of there, bro. He said, not up in here.
Not up in here. What was that? Super bad, right?
Bro, yep.
So look, we didn't make no picks last week. We're a couple days away from the Super Bowl. It's crazy that the NBA's been getting a lot more media attention than the actual Super Bowl. Or is it just me?
Yeah, it's getting way more.
Trade deadline going head to head with the Super Bowl is nuts, but here we are. Eagles and Chiefs, man. Sunday. What's the deal?
Man, you know what I think it is too? I don't think a lot of people kept up with either of those teams this year.
Oh, full time? Like a lot of
because I didn't see too many people, as good as the Eagles were, I didn't see too many people talking about them, so a lot of people just don't know like how good they were this year.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes, I think people kind of just wrote the Chiefs off after Tyreek was gone, and then they kind of had a, shaky start. I think a lot of people, even the Chiefs, I don't think a lot of people as many people were like tuned into the Chiefs as they were in the last couple of years. So I think that's kind of hurting the Super Bowl.
Word. Okay.
Unfortunately, but I mean, you got the best quarterback in the league, the MVP, versus the best defense in the league. It should be far more talked about.
It always leans on defense at the end of the day. Like when it comes down to those matchups, especially in the Super Bowl, scoring is way down. It's never really a shootout. It's a blowout, or it's like defense is gonna win the Super Bowl. So
yeah, I think the Eagles were 3 or 5 sacks away from tying or breaking the single season team record for sacks.
Mahomes don't get sacked though. for what it's worth.
Man, look, the Eagles had 70 sacks this year. 70.
I'm picking the Chiefs, man. I'm picking the Chiefs.
I'm rolling Eagles.
Ooh. Let's put something on it. Let's put something on it.
You know why I'm rolling Eagles, man?
Let's put something on it.
My guy Darius Slay, bro.
Let's put something on it. Let's put something on it. I'm picking the Chiefs. You picking the Eagles. What you want to do? What you want to bet?
What you got?
What you want to do, bro?
What you got, bro?
First. What you want? I'm trying to do a giveaway for the people anyway. But what you want? What we on? What you want to do?
What's good? Hey, you brought it up. Let's go,
man.
Let's go.
Give me to the end of the show. I gotta think about it.
I'm rocking with my boy Slay, man. I needed to be the Eagles. So 2 years in a row, my franchise players win Super Bowls without the Lions.
Give me a score and give me an MVP of the game.
31-27 Eagles. MVP. I'm gonna go with Hurts. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna have my Jalen Hurts jersey on Sunday too.
I'm going 35-20. Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes getting his second ring. And they getting the Super Bowl MVP in Arizona. That's where I'm going. But we got to come up with a bet before the end of the show, bro.
Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it.
That's going to do it for the BAMs, man. Don't forget to check in with us. Y'all know the wave. Check us out in the mailbag at Hitmen or the Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. Hit us up on the socials at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, at Virtuoso Sports on Twitter, man. Sneaker rundown is gonna be a little different. So not really much has been dropping for real that's been worth talking about. But one of the big stories that came out these past few weeks, Nike suing everybody, right? We talked about that a little bit with Bape. We talked about that a little bit with the other line. I cannot remember the name, but it's a lightning bolt on the side. I can't remember the name to save my life. I never was interested in getting a pair of those. It was always, you feel me, where we at with Nike, but it's just one of them things where it seemed like post-pandemic they trying to recoup everything they can, right?
Yeah.
We talked about Kyrie and not really being on anybody's shoe radar. We said maybe Puma might be a suitor. I don't know what Dallas is looking like as far as a market for him and shoe contracts at this point. I don't even know if that's something that's on his mind, on his radar right now. But if I was Puma, I would try to make a play and make a play quick.
Yeah, because there was reports out there a couple weeks ago. It's a black-owned sneaker company that he had met with. They don't make basketball shoes, but he had met with them about potentially doing a deal. Right. I can't remember what the brand name was, but I think for Kyrie at this point, the message in the marketing behind the shoe is going to be super important no matter where he go.
Beyonce tickets came out, but word around the campfire is they said that her Ivy Park line with Adidas is reportedly struggling and driving home the challenge of filling the $2 billion hole that was left by Kanye West's Yeezy line that they cut ties with some months back. According to the shoegame.com, the newspaper reported, and this is also from Matthew Kish, the newspaper reported the celebrated musician's partnership with Adidas is coming up short on sales and projections. Sales for the Ivy Park line decreased more than 50% to roughly $40 million last year, well short of the company's $250 million forecast, according to the Wall Street Journal. The struggles of the line the struggles of the line further underscore the challenge facing Adidas's profits in the wake of the split with Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. The company lost ground against rival Nike in recent years and hasn't found any big tranches of sales to replace the estimated $2 billion in sales that Yeezy's brand brought to the company. The Adidas Ivy Park line launched in 2020, and the contract between Beyonce and Adidas expires after 2023, according to the Journal, which reported Adidas has discussed ending or revising the deal. While the future of Ivy Park with Adidas is uncertain, Adidas has announced 2 other potentially significant moves in the recent days, including a new sportswear line aimed at Gen Z, the first full collection launches in 50 years, and a new partnership with the global fitness brand Lace Mills. So, shorties ain't buying Ivy Park nowadays, bro.
Nah, not buying it. And on top of that, the availability of it
Yeah, that was in question too. I
is a
remember.
big thing, and not just that, but sizes too. Like the size, just the size runs were not great in terms of kind of marketing it to, women of all shapes and sizes. The size
Yeah.
runs were very small, so not surprised.
So, if you were me, or if you was Adidas rather, because I'm not Adidas, how do you feel they avoid $2 billion
Well,
yearly?
Pusha T ruined the Drake thing. Um, honestly, the first thing I'd probably do is I'd probably ramp up the human race and the human race shit
Bring
for
for real.
real.
Yeah, and bring it
Yeah,
back
because
around.
it's already successful. You know what I mean? So I would probably use that as kind of a second tier Yeezy replacement in the meantime. But um, Adidas' problem is that boost technology changed everything for them when that dropped.
And who's their franchise basketball rep? Who's their franchise basketball athlete?
At this point, Lillard and Harden and Spider.
Wow.
Yeah, like yeah, yeah. And on top of that, their basketball shoes from a look standpoint, and that's the problem with a lot of the Adidas stuff from a design stamp, like from a aesthetic standpoint, they can't touch Nike with a lot of stuff.
Word. Yeah, 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 exactly.
Some stuff they
The
do,
designers, Nike got it on Smash.
yeah. Like you had like the Ultra Boost and a lot of the NMDs, some of the like the original Yeezys, the 250s or the 350s,
Mm.
but a lot of the other stuff they designed just ain't really it. I mean, you got the classics like Superstars, Top Tens, but uh, they need to go find number one a global superstar in the music business.
That's willing to do business. J down with them. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember they lost it. They shut down the Missy Elliott line too a while
Crazy.
back.
Stupid
Bro,
motherfuckers.
bro, bro. But they need that, and then they also need a top tier basketball player who's willing to be their LeBron or be their Jordan kind of. Because you see, Under Armour got Steph.
Embiid.
Yeah, Embiid is over there. Puma hasn't really figured that out yet. I mean, they got Melo, and his shoes are doing well, but they need to find that like top dog basketball dude and actually make some good looking shoes. Because the Hardens were cool, like the volume ones and the volume twos were cool. After that,
They may have something with Wembanyama being a global player, being another Euro as opposed. Adidas is always gonna do
boy,
well
that look, man.
overseas.
I'm calling it. He gonna be a Jordan guy. Jordan has been landing all of these dudes lately. All of them. Luka, Zion, JT, like. Man, y'all better watch
He
out
picked
for
up
Jordans.
Paolo. Paolo's the number 1 pick this
Yeah,
past year.
Paolo, like Jordan, the last like 4-5 drafts, bro. Jordan been on it.
Word.
Outside of Aiton, who was with Puma, but I, if you and probably Nike can probably offer the most money. So I mean that's also a big part of it.
No trivia this week. No game show this week. We're gonna go straight to shout outs. Who you got this week, bro?
Man, I finally got around to watching Black Panther, so I'm gonna give my shout out to Angela Bassett.
Damn, it took you forever, didn't it?
Bro, I've been busy, but it's on Disney Plus. Bruh,
She was nominated for an Oscar.
she won.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Super dope.
and still looking. I can't say the words I want to say, but at 64, boy, look, look. Her, I believe Viola Davis just became the
EGOT winner.
EGOT winner. Yeah. So definitely shout out to her. Man, look.
Black
She,
History Month off the
she
bang.
she been everywhere lately too. Yeah, definitely shout out to her. I mean, right now that's really it outside of the usuals, you know, family, friends, you know. Oh, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Missy Elliott, man. If y'all don't know, Missy Elliott's one of my favorites. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Nice. Shout out to the goddess.
Definitely shout out to her too. But I'm still beefing with her because I need more music. I need more music.
So first and foremost, shout out to God. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
The typical
The
war speech opener.
I was trying my hardest to get bro on here, but I had to just take the L. I was trying to get 50 on here, man. Earlier this week, it marked the 50th and the 20th anniversary of Get Rich or Die Trying. Came out in February of 2003, and the tidal wave had every city in America on smash.
Man,
had your radio in a chokehold. So shout out to 50 on that. I'm gonna cut that. Boom. Who else I wanted to shout out? Happy belated birthday, Bob Marley. Shout to Beyonce again, becoming all-time leading scorer in Grammys.
Man, right?
History. You know what I'm saying? Still didn't win Album of the Year. They kind of did her bogus with that. They gave it to Harry Styles, but shout out to Beyonce. Shout out to Hove. Killed the Grammy finale with the God Did verse, and then turned around. You know, spent a couple days in L.A. Right? We showed up at the LeBron christening, at the baby shower or whatever like that. And then the Black podcast that I bang with each and every week, the Terry Rosen podcast on FC Network. I Ain't Going with CJ and Darrow. I don't really be shouting out the majors because the majors is gonna be the majors. I'm trying to shout out the ones that, you know, trying to get to the top like we are. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Reason to Doubt, Jay Sims and the gang over there. Shout out to my brother Cody Mack at What's the Word TV. Come on, what we putting on this Super Bowl, dog? What's the deal?
I'm saying though.
All right, man.
What's the word, buddy?
I don't know. I'm actually gonna be in Detroit this week. We could talk about it then. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm be in Detroit on Friday. I'm gonna link you and we're gonna put it on the socials and figure it out. Big announcement coming next week. We got a giveaway coming. It's finalized. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it for the longest time, but I figured out what's gonna get y'all locked into this heat rock. We got a brand new yellow top. You feel me? Shout out to Stringer Bell. We back up. You know what I'm saying? So got something special coming. Y'all check us out over the weekend after the Super Bowl. We're gonna get locked in, do something nice for All-Star Weekend, do something nice getting ready for the playoffs for 2023. But with that being said, man, we're gonna sign off. Make sure again one more time for the folk. Make sure we get these bills paid. Shout out, we everywhere that podcasts live, right? Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, all of that. Make sure y'all hit us up on the socials at Hitmen Podcast, at Labeled and Known, at Virtuoso Sports on Twitter. Check us out in the mailbag, the Hitmen Podcast at gmail.com. And last but certainly not least, don't ever forget in your life, man, we legends out here.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to acknowledge it.
All right, it was a miracle. Can we go now?
Grace and peace. We'll catch y'all next week. Holla!
Out of the target center.